I'm not like a niche artist. I'm like popular, but popular in a good way, you know. I create an emotion, even bad emotion, but it's an emotion.
Welcome to Rodeo Drive, the podcast, the show about the visionaries who keep 3 blocks in Beverly Hills at the forefront of fashion and culture. I'm Kay Monica Rose with the Rodeo Drive Committee.
And I'm Lyn Winter, your host for this episode. If you walk along Rodeo Drive right now, you might encounter a creature from the animal kingdom. 8 colorful life-size sculptures of animals pose on the sidewalk in front of luxury boutiques. Wild Kong, Standing Bear, Panda and Crocodile were designed by the French artist Richard Orlinski, an enfant terrible of sorts who was the artist of record at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris and has defied cultural convention by mixing up art with music, stand-up comedy, and partnerships with international brands including Lancome, Hublot, Puma and Disney. Now Richard has written a book, Pourquoi J'ai Cassé les codes, or Why I Broke the Codes, about his life of going against the grain. I was delighted to get a chance to talk to him when he stopped off recently in Beverly Hills. Richard, bonjour, welcome. Pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, pleasure for me too.
Born Wild sculptures are part of this summer's Rodeo Drive Celebrates Fashion, and one work is going to remain permanently on view. Which one is that?
The permanent one?
Yeah.
I think it's a good question. I think it's the Kong with a big heart, and with it's written on the art Rodeo Drive, because you know it fits with a place and it was made for it. This is the only piece was really made for it.
Fantastic. And so you made your first sculpture in 2004, red resin crocodile, which is also on Rodeo Drive. Why did you do that?
I don't know, I was drunk maybe this time. No, you mean about why I choose the crocodile to start?
I mean, why suddenly change your life and decide to make a red crocodile?
It's many questions in one question. Yeah, because I was not making art, and one day I felt very bad not doing what I want to do. Just like I had some business, I was successful, but it was like really boring. And so one day I decided to give up with my old life, and to change everything, and to go through into this new world of art, which reminds me when I was a kid, because I used to make like elephant animals in clay when I was a kid, when I was 4 years old. And I decided, and everybody was upset, was against me, and then I started. And I decided to start with the crocodile because it means a lot of things for me. Crocodile is a very interesting animal because this animal is a survivor, he's very resilient. This animal exists for millions of years. He survived from all the area. He was before the dinosaur. He can live without eating 6 months. He can live without breathing 6 months. He can be like in the coma, like die, like dead. So it was for me. This animal was very interesting because it was a testimony of our existence. That's why I start by the crocodile. But it's not a real crocodile. It's like my imaginary crocodile. It's red. It's really different from a crocodile. If you Google a crocodile, it's like a very small mouth and very big body. And I change all the proportion because in my crocodile the tail, the body, and the mouth is exactly the same size. But when you see, it's crocodile. I correct a little bit the nature.
I'm curious whether your works are sort of self-referential. You've called the series Born Wild for a long time now. Were you born wild?
Born Wild was a concept, to be honest. Born Wild, it was talking about the fact that we are very different from animals. The animals are violent, and they use the violence for good things because they kill for eating. So they obey to a virtuous circle, and we are killing for nothing. I mean, sometimes we think animals are like stupid or not smart as us or clever, but maybe sometimes you have to follow what they do because they are doing only good things and we are not doing that. So that's why Born Wild. The concept was about that.
I've heard you talk about your childhood and how you grew up in a family where your father was quite violent and it was a difficult childhood. How do you think that struggle as a child prepared you for your life and perhaps your life as an artist?
It was maybe something complicated and strong, but I think it was a very good preparation for my future life because it gave me all the strengths, all the skills to become what I became as an artist. So because I realized very early that I have nobody to trust, so I was very alone. And when you're like that, you're hungry and you want to succeed, you want to do what you own, you want to kill the world. And maybe this was in a way a good thing. And sometimes when some interviewer ask me a question about that, I say thank you for that to my father, because maybe if he was not like that, I won't be there now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the art world is not so friendly always either. You have to be quite resilient in the art world. When you started in the 2000s, there was quite a lot going on in France. I mean, there were artists that were appearing, street artists, pop artists that have really made a name for themselves now. Were you working with other artists, or were you really pursuing this career alone, or was there a group of you, like often there is when there's a new movement of artists?
No, I was very alone, a lonely boy. No, I was not very accepted by the middle, and it was not really street art. And to be honest, at this time, I was like a UFO, because everybody didn't understand what I was doing, and also I didn't came from the place that they expect me to came, so I don't follow the rules and everything. So it was a big problem for them. So I was really feel very alone, but it was okay for me.
Yeah, and people have likened you, or maybe you've likened yourself to Jeff Koons.
Yeah, not me. A lot of people say that French Jeff Koons. It's very funny because the first time we heard it on the newspaper, it was something bad because it was a very famous French critic who say, "Oh, you see all that shit like the balloon of Jeff Koons as the Orlinski crocodile," and so they compare it. The first time that I was compared to Jeff, it was for a bad way. But for me, I was proud of that because, it was a very good communication. And after that, they say that is a French Koons. That's it, yes.
And have you met Jeff? Have you talked to him about your work?
I've met him in Mexico. I had a gallery there in Mazarik a few years ago, and he was launching his small jewelry.
Yeah.
So we were in a dinner together, and so we talk, and it's okay. So
yeah. Okay. And I've heard also you talk a little bit about Andy Warhol, who I'm very interested in. So Andy was obviously involved in many things in culture, and you have also kind of taken this art is life kind of approach where you're involved in art, but music and movies and sport and comedy. Do you think that's who you are, or do you think it's a response to our popular culture today where everything converges?
Yeah, it's funny that you talk about Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol is more, I think, close to me than Koons. I have nothing to be honest. There is no relationship and no comparison with Koons. But with Andy, yes, it's very different because this guy at this time was a genius for me. He make a revolution with art, with pop art, and he understand very early what people start to understand right now. He was making communication, and I think now art, yes, it's part of something more mainstream, something more popular. And I think Andy Warhol, if he was living now with the internet, all the thing, he's very well known, but he would be like a superstar, like Michael Jackson. But yes, I think it's to be involved in all that 360 different field. It's very interesting because you every day discovering new things. So it's very interesting.
There's a new documentary film called The Warhol Effect. I don't know if you've seen it. It's just been released. It's really about Andy's later works. Mm-hmm. after the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting, worth seeing. So when you started off in this art and cultural space, you, I think, came to this very much as an entrepreneur and an artist. Do you think that was because you had already seen the sort of commercial ecosystem of today's art world, because it's completely expanded and grown with the internet and democratization? It's not the same art world that existed like 100 years ago.
In a way, you're right. But, you know, if you go 200 or 300 years before, the art world was very different and more close to the art world now. You know, with the king, the artists we are really the like superstar now. Now we have like actors, singers that are the big stars. But the big stars this time were the artists, because they were at the court with the queen, with the king, and they were the very important person. They have people who have a lot of money. It changed after that. You know, the changement is very recent. It was like maybe 100 years before, and now. Yes, now it's very different. But I think if you want to exist, you have to sell. You have to. If you don't sell, no, it's not possible to realize your dream, to have goals. So it is. You have to. There's no way. There is no king that give you money to develop your art, as it was in the 15th, 16th century. So it's very funny because time is always, you know, moving and changing. Yeah.
I mean, the artists today do have more and more of a strong voice, particularly those that are kind of involved in, you know, issues about sustainability and climate, and more sort of activist artists. I think they have a very strong voice today. But, you know, talking about selling, so you're represented by galleries, but you also have your own galleries. How does that work?
It's very easy, you know. I am a very prolific creation. We create a lot of different pieces, and I was represented before by multi-artist galleries, but you have to share the space with many artists, so you can show only a very small part of your art. And when I understand and I feel that I need to show to the public more piece of art, so I start to create with different partners all over the world, Orlinski galleries, and then you have a choice, incredible choice, like fashion. So I treat more art like fashion, you know, with season, with like fashion show, and for me it's the new way of buying, of collecting, of appreciating, and living also, because my galleries, Orlinski Gallery, are like a place to be and to live. Kids can come, they can play, it's more like an experience. And I think the new world, it's now we just are starting that. But I think in the next 10, 20 years, there will be many big space where you can even eat, when you can spend time, and you leave something. Because no, I think all is about experience now. Now everybody, the competition is like always the same, but so you have to invent something new, and the experience is very unique. So I think people now need to leave something special, and I think the artists and the galleries and the people in this industry need to create something like that. So I think you will see in the future a lot of I don't know if you've been to Time Lab or some big things experience that you live with light, with VR, with the smell. This is this now. We have
multisensory.
Yes, multisensory. I think this is what we have to do. And yes, I think it's a new way. It's a new way, and this is a new time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're on Rodeo Drive, but I had read when you talked about this idea of sort of newness and fashion that you kind of presented your work almost like pret-a-porter and couture for those special commissions.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you're known as a neo-pop or popular artist, and I know that you really want your work to be accessible and provoke an immediate emotional reaction. And you've also said that your banality is your strength. So what do you think it is that draws people to these works?
it's as you say, it's banality, because I think I in my eyes I can see what most of the people can see, and I can like. I'm not like a niche artist. I'm like popular, but popular in a good way. I create an emotion, even bad emotion, but it's an emotion. It's a way of sharing and give the art very affordable for everybody.
I mean, it's interesting. We talked about Koons, but the neo-pop movement started in the 80s, and there were some, fascinating artists that are actually... Kenny Scharf, obviously, is in LA, and Murakami had an amazing exhibition in Los Angeles in 2007, and has obviously become part of our culture. But were you following work? The artists like Kenny and Takashi, were they people that you were interested in or drew inspiration from, or not?
Not at all. I know what they do. Murakami, he's also working with Hublot. I design Hublot watch. My watch has...
I know, I want to talk about the Hublot watch, actually.
Okay, so...
Let me ask you then, you've continued to make these animals.
Yeah.
Are you going to branch out and do something else, or are you going to continue to make the animals?
I always make animals, but I make many things. I'm very free. I work on statue. I work on the godness from Greece, from Rome. I work about the war. Yeah, I do an exhibition about the war between U.S. and USSR, and the Cold War. I make all. I love to think about something and let's do it. I'm very free. But to be honest, people love animals, so that's why also we are here also for selling pieces. And to be honest, animals. We are all kids, and we are kids, all human. Have a special affection with the zoo, with the Disney, with the cartoon, and everything. So it's obvious. So it's easy. You have to do that. I told you, I'm like not special, and so I like what many people like. So animal, it's liked by many people. So that's why I do it also.
LA is really known as like a sort of city of cultural crossover. You've got, Hollywood on the one hand and the arts, and they've, been apart and together, and now maybe more together than ever. But in the next few years, there's going to be a lot of sport in LA. There's going to be the World Cup, there's going to be the Super Bowl, and then the Olympics. So... Are you involved in any of those sporting events? You were involved in Paris in the Olympics. Yeah,
I've been designing the frieze, which was the emblem of the French Olympic Games. I designed it. I was the only artist to design this character. I don't know. I love to be. I do many things with football, with soccer, as you say in US, and I'm very close to many clubs and football player. We just design soccer shoes for Puma. So yes, of course, we have many requests. I'm very involved in the sport business. More in Europe, but yes, it can be also now there is I design paddle rackets and design the
for paddle ball.
For paddle tennis,
yes,
yeah, and I design also a tennis racket for Djokovic with head. So we have a lot of projects about. Also trophy. I designed for many years the Formula 1 Grand Prix from France. I designed the trophy
amazing.
So yes, for music also. So yes, sport is a very part of our field that we explore, and we love sports.
So we're on Rodeo Drive, and it's the sort of iconic luxury fashion street. And I have heard you speak of luxury as freedom and time. And you've actually said in this conversation that you're free a few times. Are you really free, or are you constrained by everything that you want to do?
Oh, freedom is a concept, I'm free to create what I want to create. That's what I was telling you, but of course, I'm free to create, and I love to be free. It's a lux to be free. It's not always easy, because you are free, but you have to do meetings, you have to go to follow the rules, so you're not really free.
Exactly.
in my art, I want to be free, and I want to give a lot. I want to help. I'm also very involved in charity for kids, for hospital, for disease, for protecting animals, protecting the rights of women all over the world. So we are involved in like almost 50 foundations around the world. So this is also a way of freedom. You know, when you give, we make like some atelier with kids. We go to hospital, and then we have atelier. We build some piece of art, and we share with kids, and so we give a lot, and we receive more than we give, to be honest, at the end of the day. Because it's just crazy we have so many experiences. It was like crazy. So I think freedom, it's a concept also. Of course, we are not always free, but we try to be. That's the way.
And you have your own kids, right?
Yeah. I bought many kids. No, I have my own kids, yes.
Yeah, no, I heard you talking about how you had given your kids freedom by by looking after them.
Yeah.
Which you didn't have.
Yeah, exactly. I have 4 kids. And it's also to be dad, to be father, it's also a big experience. And I think I let them free, and it's very funny how they grow, because they are very respectful. I teach them many ways to behave, but I don't really teach. They just follow something. So it was like something very easy, you know.
Are they artists as well?
Yeah, more than me. I think three of my kids, they are like involved in music. They are playing piano. They're singing. One is a movie actor. So 3 of them are really sensitive. But their mother was artist also. The grandmother was artist also. So it's not maybe because of me. It's maybe thanks to the mother side.
The mother side, yeah. So you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Pourquoi J'ai Cassé les codes.
Ouais. Why I break the codes.
Yeah. Where you go against the grain. I don't know. It's difficult to translate into.
Okay.
Why did you write that book? Why?
You read it?
I haven't yet. I need to.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I wrote this book to share. It's about transmission, because this was written as mantras, you know. I explain every moment of my life, and after each chapter, I explain what I get, and when maybe you can follow as an advice. You don't have to follow, but it is maybe for me a way to take the 914, you know, the Harry Potter, way. It's a way to make a shortcut, to make something, you know, to sometimes to make a bypass.
Yeah.
So I give many advices to have bypass. You can follow this. You don't have to, but if you want, maybe you use my experience, and so you save time. And so that's why. And I have many. I receive many letters, many mails, many comments on Instagram, and a lot of people are very happy because I explain how I changed my work, changed my life, and I have a lot of thanks from people because it helps. And even if only one person say that it was important for him and changed his life, it's okay for me. But I have to be honest, many people who are very thankful about this book because it helps them to change, to challenge them, to listen to the little voice inside, to follow the dreams. So it's very, yes, there is something very, very interesting so that's why I made this book.
And presumably it's a kind of way for you to rationalize your experiences as well, to find something that pushed you forward from each of these experiences.
Yes, it is a start because I'm supposed to make another one because now I grew, and so.
What's the title of the new book?
I don't know. I didn't think about the title, but it's something. It's something very strong because now I learn a lot. Every day, to be honest, I wake up every day and I try to be a best person, you know. And so there is a lot of things to say, because I wrote this book in 2017, the same date as Macron was president for the first time.
Amazing. I
remember. So it was a very big competition for me because there is this big event. And so now it's now a little time have passed and I learn a lot and I have many other things to teach, not to teach, but to let people know, and maybe to help. So I have a mission, I think, on this world, on this earth, and it's to give maybe something, to give advice, to give experience.
Interesting. And so I just want to go back to your artwork. So the process of fabrication of making sculptures is quite complex, depending on how big and materials. Where are you making all these works? Do you have a studio space?
Yes, we have 5 studios in France.
5?
Yeah. It depends, as you said, materials, size, and everything, and so it depends. So and yes, now it's in France, and we start now to build a studio in Portugal, and also we try now to maybe to find a way to build a studio here in the States.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have? Where are most of your collectors based? Is there a?
It's on the 5 continents, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And is it mainly institutional, or is it private?
Private companies. Different, because I make also affordable art, and we can buy very small pieces for a few dollars. So.
And are the resin works the most popular, or because I know you're making metal and stone?
Yeah, it depends. It's more, but it's more popular. It's more connected to the price, because it's cheaper than if you make in gold.
Yeah.
So this, of course.
Yeah. Interesting. And do you like that? Are you part of that process? Do you like the fabrication process?
Yes, of course. I like to discover a new way, new techniques, new very light material, very strong. Always there is a challenge. I love to be challenged. So it's also always a challenge to find something better, to improve, always, because we improve. And so now we have to also always restoring. But now we're looking for better materials. So it is good, yeah.
And what about, do you use 3D printing or not?
Yes.
You do?
No, but not for we use 3D printing only for a test, to see. Sometimes we want in a minute to see what's going to happen, and so. But if not, we don't use 3D because it's not so interesting for us.
And what about AI? Is that
AI you would start to use now, just to have like some advices, because if we are talking of something together, we say that we want to do this table with the Orlinski style. You put in the AI table, wood, Orlinski style, and then something happen. It helps. It's like it's an evolution of Google, and so we put something. It's a little bit different, but it doesn't do the work for you.
Yeah.
It will never, I think.
So it's interesting. Your work is obviously, visible everywhere through, the galleries and online and public art. But at the beginning, you were not really accepted, right, by your peers, and you were kind of.
I'm still not accepted by my peers.
But no, what I'm interested, by your peers. But what I'm interested in is in France. There's always been this idea of the Salon des Refusés, which is super interesting.
Yeah.
So, that became, with Napoleon, right?
Yeah.
So. I mean, do you consider that you're like part of this Salon des Refusés?
Of course, but the Salon des Refusés becomes the FIAC, and the FIAC...
Of course it does.
And start and keep on refuse other artists.
Of course.
Yes, but it's okay with me, no problem. But it's more about Paris than France. France accept me and accept more the artists. It's Paris the problem, it's not the France. France is very different from Paris.
Yeah.
Paris is a very small middle, very, very closed, intelligentsia, very rude, and if you don't have the card, you're out of the game. So you have to, to break the game.
I think it's much more free in the United States, actually.
It's very different.
Different climate.
Different. Yeah, it's different. It's very different. It's more open-minded, and it's more aware. It's more... sometimes unfortunately, it takes something from France, but in the meantime, yes. I was very surprised when I come here in LA to record my first album, a music album. It was so easy to get in touch with the big celebrities, with everyone. It was like, they were happy to make stuff with me. I was very surprised. There are more superstars than the French artists, and they are more easy, more. It's crazy because in France, when you have a small celebrity in a small country as France, like 16 million people, you think that you're a superstar. Here you can meet like Sylvester Stallone is more, more cool and more.
And you did something with Sylvester, right?
Yeah, but this guy is very cool. And we have some artists who are really nobody in France, and they think that they have like, they make one movie and they talk one time on TV, and they think that they don't talk to you anymore because they feel like, But it's different. US, the culture is very different for that. They're more, and I think they're more professional. I did a lot of collabs with American artists, and they know, and they're very organized. The public, the culture is very different.
And I remember, remind me who it was that you made a work for a Hollywood actor, and then you accidentally sat next to him years later, and he
Andy
asked.
Garcia.
It was Andy Garcia, yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was in Deauville, in the American Festival movie in Deauville, yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about your brand collaborations?
Yeah, of course.
So you mentioned Puma, and tell us about Hublot, because you mentioned that earlier. So how did that come about?
Hublot, now has been 8 years. I was with my friend who was in a partner with David Guetta, and they were collaborating
the
with...
DJ, right?
Yes, and they were collaborating with Tiger,
Yeah.
And the president of the LVMH industry was Jean-Claude Biver, and at this time he was making a collab with David, and my friend told me, now David is very close to Jean-Claude, so maybe we can ask if he want to make a watch with you. So he texted Jean-Claude and say, do you want to make a watch with Richard Orlinski? And for me, it was like impossible. It's like it's like to talk with gods. And I was with my friend to try to make a fit with our music artist, and I was leaving the office, and he said, he answered me. And I thought it was a joke, He said yes. He said, let's do a watch with a Kong inside for Tiger. And I said, wow. And then I start to be crazy, and we send the offer, and they talk, negotiation, and everything. And I don't know why it never happens. It's something they say that it was finished, and like I was very upset. I was sad because for me, to have a watch, even for free, I would have made it because it was like crazy to have like your own watch,
Are you a watch collector?
Yeah. And 2 years after, I was in a dinner in a special dinner celebrating art in Courchevel, and I was with, I know why, close to Jean-Claude Biver, and we were very boring together because it was only English people, very boring, and so we say we talk, we go like. We became not friends, but we start to talk and say, let's go to the bar because we are boring. And slowly, we became very good friends. And one day he asked me to do a watch with them. And one of his team said, no, Richard, you don't have to go to Tiger, you have to go to Hublot because it's a better brand for the. And he was the president of the group, but not the CEO of Hublot. So it was more. So he introduced me to the CEO, and we do this amazing collab, and we sold out the first year. We sold out the collection in 1 minute, so it was just crazy.
Interesting. So you're on your way to Vegas.
Yes, I'm leaving. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So what is happening in Vegas?
What happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas. In Vegas, we have a show, we have an exhibition with the Wynn Hotel, with the Formula One Grand Prix organization, and also I have a gig as a DJ in the Wynn Hotel at the XLS disco club.
Well, I hope that's a huge success. And you have a new project in Brussels as well, is that correct? A new art space?
Yeah, we are going to have a very big space, like more than 2,000 square meters, and it's going to be a coffee. It's going to be an experience place, as we talked maybe earlier. It's a very, very nice place, and we want to start this experience place.
But you can make art there, or you just look at art?
It's a gallery.
It's a gallery?
It's also, there is a special room with experience, with feeling. There is also a place that you can also have things for food. It's all together. It's a big experience.
And why in Brussels?
Because a partner asked me to make it in Brussels. I'm very pragmatic. I don't decide to make it in Brussels. If you ask me to make it in Beverly Hills, I will make it in Rodeo Drive.
Fantastic. So what would be your advice to anybody pursuing a career as an artist today?
Follow your dreams and be disruptive. I think you don't have to follow rules. You have to break the rules. You have to make things happen to be different. Because when you're different, people can notice you, can see that you exist. If you are like others, you stay like others. We're talking about all the social media and all, so everything is so fast, and so you have to really to exist. So my advice is to always be present. It's like a war. You have to occupy the field, or you have to be there, always there. Not to, because sometimes people say, sometimes you have to be quiet, and then people will ask you to come if you're quiet. I don't think it was maybe true a long time ago, but now if you're quiet and if people don't see you, they forgot you.
Well, particularly here,
now.
Actually. But it's interesting because you have always been a little bit of a rebel, like a sort of, contre-courant kind of person. But do you think now, because of the state of our culture, do you think that now you're part of the establishment?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm like you. I'm something apart. I'm something impossible to define. It's something like I'm happy to. I don't know if I'm good, I'm bad, I'm strong, I'm huge. I don't know. I'm something. I'm something that never existed before. We are very unique and particular. I don't say that we are the best. But we are different. We are very different.
Well, I think that's the perfect place to close.
Yeah, I don't know. You know better than me.
That was great. I mean, unless there's anything else that you'd like to add for our listeners.
No, just I'm very proud to be part of the project of Rodeo Drive Beverly Hills. It was, if I thought one day when I was a kid that I could put my art on the streets, I think I didn't ever believe in that. So I'm happy for that. And when I see this morning, I was with the kids, with the school, and explaining and also giving advices. So I love this. So I'm very happy that the city and all the people there let me organize and let me be part of this big adventure. And I hope that it's gonna last long.
And I hear that it's extended through January.
Yeah, there is, and maybe we have
longer.
Maybe we have many other projects, because I feel very good there, and people are very nice, and yes, and yes, the venue was very, very nice, and I don't expect such a welcome. The welcome was huge. I have many welcome in many places, but here, yes, especially it was different and stronger.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining on the show today.
Thank you.
Rodeo Drive the podcast is presented by the Rodeo Drive Committee with the support of the Heyman family, 2 Rodeo Drive, Beverly Wilshire Four Seasons Hotel, and the Beverly Hills Conference and Visitors Bureau. This episode was hosted by Lyn Winter. I'm Kay Monica Rose with the Rodeo Drive Committee. Join us on Instagram at Rodeo Drive.